Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I got another deck profile for you guys today. This time's an update on my Thunder Dragon deck. So last month I actually put this deck together. Now that it's actually a low budget option, and it's probably like the best deck in the format right now because it just shuts down so many decks. It prevents in fact, Skystarker's not gonna have a hard time beating this deck because now they can't search as much as they are able to, and they can't rely too heavily on Widow Anchor that much now that it's at 1. But uh, but yes, Thunder Dragon is just a really powerful control deck. I really like what it can do, and it's just a fun deck overall. Now, I know people get annoyed with Colossus, but keep in mind this deck doesn't necessarily have a real out to cards like Nibiru or Dark Ruler No More. Of course, if you want to run cards like Solemn Judgment, then that's entirely up to you. But yeah, I was like, this deck, can easily be outed if you know what you're doing, and just hopefully you hard draw into the cards you need to. But overall, I personally like this deck, and I just want to show you guys my own personal build on how I recently just updated this deck. So yeah, let me go and show you what I got. So all the Thunder Dragons have an effect where you can either discard them to activate an effect, or if they're sent from field to grave or banished, they have a separate effect, which each one can only be used one or the other per turn. So that means you can only choose one of the effects, so just know how to use them wisely. Alright, so starting out, got to be playing 3 Thunder Dragon Roar. You discard this to recycle one of your banished Thunder Dragons or the ones from your graveyard, and if it's sent from field to grave or banished, you can just special summon a Thunder Dragon, but it goes back to your hand at the end of the turn. 3 Thunder Dragon Dark. It searches out itself if you discard it, and it's a quick effect too, so you can activate this during your opponent's turn. And if it's banished or sent from field to grave, you can search out any other Thunder Dragon monster. So, really cool effect. Next we got 3 chickens. I'm just kidding. It's Thunder Dragon Hawk. I just prefer to call him a chicken. Discard it to either use its Monster Reborn effect, or if you use its second effect, it becomes a magical mallet. So Thunder Dragon Hawk, definitely an amazing card. Next, gotta play the OG Thunder Dragon. That's a staple. Gets you access to all your Thunder Dragons, like the OG ones, and also cool thing about it is that it just helps you add more resources to the graveyard since the fusion monsters have built-in protection, and you definitely want to take full advantage of that. 3 Thunder Matrix, discard to either do the power boost, or if it does the from field to grave or banished effect, searches out another copy of itself. And this time I'm only playing 1 Thunder Dragon duel. The only reason I was running 2 last time is because it was just giving me access to my rank 8. I was running Hope Harbinger, and then I eventually added Zombie Side, but now I decided not to run it that way anymore. And honestly, I think 1 duel is just fine. You could still run 2 if you want. I just prefer the 1, especially because it's searchable anyway. So yeah, that's my only real reason behind it. Alright, so moving on. This is sort of a pseudo Thunder Dragon. Gotta play 3 Batteryman Solar. Gets you access to a token, and also the fact that you can distribute it out for Colossus is just amazing. And I'm playing 2 Aloof Lupine. This just acts as my second and third copy of Goldsark, just to trigger off the banishment effects of my Thunder Dragon monsters. And also, what's cool about this card is that if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can actually restore one of your banished cards back to your hand. So it's a good way to also recur your resources. So Aloof Lupine, definitely an amazing starter. Alright, so that's with that. Let's go and move on to our hand traps. I'm playing 3 Ash Blossom, which I'm very happy I got access to the alternate arts. I just got my playset over the weekend, so very happy I could run them in this deck. Running 3 DD Crow, and then lastly 3 Nibiru. As I mentioned, this deck is prone to Nibiru itself too, but if you know how to play it safe, you should be able to come back from it. But also Nibiru is just really good against all the combo heavy decks, Mirror Match, Orchist, even Salamangreat. So Nibiru, definitely an amazing card. And that's pretty much it for my monsters. That's, if I'm not mistaken, that's 30 monsters. So yeah, that's a lot. But this isn't really a spell heavy deck, so that's why it's really good. Next, for our spells, going to be playing 3 Allure of Darkness for draw power. And of course, if you banish like any of your Dark Thunder Dragon monsters, you can trigger off their effects. 3 Thunder Dragon Fusion now. I was running it at just 2, but now you kind of want to run it at 3. Because again, it just helps you manage your resources. 3 Instant Fusion. Since, I got a couple targets, and especially like Thousand Eyes Restrict, you can just take one of your opponent's monsters and then link off with it for Link Kratos, so that's always good. And then lastly, 1 Gold Sark. So just 10 spells. And main deck is 40 cards. Alright, so now we're moving on to the extra deck. Extra deck, I'm running 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Colossus. I think this is literally the best card in the entire extra deck. I'm only running 2 copies of Titan. Honestly, I think 2 is still all you'll ever need, honestly. Especially because it's recyclable. But, you know, some people are running it at 3 now. But, I mean, that's fine and all. I just don't want to run it at 3. I just prefer to run it at 2. For my instant fusion targets, I got Kiminari Attack. You know, that's pretty standard. It's a Thunder monster. And then Thousand Eyes Restrict. And for my only other fusion in my extra deck, I'm running Starving Venom because I do side out Super Poly. That's actually one of the reasons why I'm not running 3 Titans. I wanted to make room in case I needed to put in Super Poly in the main. So, yeah. That's the general gist. And now for my Link monsters, of course I mentioned I got Link Rebo, 1 Summer Summoner. Oh, just keep in mind, I forgot to mention this last time. Some Summoner can only bring back Thunder Dragon Colossus or Titan if they were fusion summoned. So if you summon them out by their own effects, you cannot use some Summer's effect to bring them back. So you'll literally have to do the actual fusion summons if you want to bring back your Colossus and Titan properly. Moving on, 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice. You know, half our deck is pretty much Dark Monsters and just gives your Dark Monsters a power boost. I also got Nightmare Phoenix and Unicorn. And of course, BLS, just because, you know, he has non-targeting banishment removal. So, really powerful card. And if you don't have access to this, you could always run any other monster, like, let's see, I'm trying to think of one. Okay, you could run Nightmare Cerberus. Even Nightmare Griffin is starting to become good now, so if you wanted to run him, I mean, I don't think it would be a bad idea. Or if you can just run another Summer, that's also fine too, so... and then lastly, 1 Borreload Dragon. I was going to run Sword, but I think Borreload is just slightly better for this deck, especially for the mirror match, so you could just take control of your opponent's Colossus, and yeah, just go from there. Alright, so now we're moving on to the side deck. Side deck's pretty self-explanatory. I'm running Dimension Shifter, only because I feel like this is the only deck that can actually get away with it. You could main deck this instead of Nibiru, it's really up to you. The only problem I have with it is that it becomes a dead card after... if you do get cards in your graveyard, so you literally have to open up with this card. So it's just really a matter of luck. Running 3 Denko Sekka, of course. You know, this deck does have troubles with back row heavy strategy, so Denko Sekka is just one of those cards that can bypass that, as well as Twin Twisters. I'm also citing out Super Poly on the side, because, you know, mirror match also. And for any, like, for more back row heavy strategies, or just cards that rely heavily on their spells, like Sky Strikers or whatever, Eradicator, Epidemic Virus. Definitely an amazing card, so I definitely recommend this. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys again next time.